According to dollars and cents, the Singaporean Dream costs $4.4 million. You know, the classics like a car, condo, country club membership, as well as a few of the important things that an average Singaporean would spend on, like dream wedding, annual vacations, retirements, and raising kids. But how realistic is this $4.4 million dream? Let's find out in this video. But before I start, do join my 10,000 members Telegram chat group to discuss or ask any questions that you may have. First up, let's talk about condos. Owning a condo has always been an aspirational life goal for some Singaporeans. According to a poll done by ERA recently, it was found that almost 1/3 of the respondents are looking to buy a private condo. And if you ask the Singaporean youths, this percentage is even higher, with 78% of millennials aged 18 to 35 saying that it's the life goal to own a private home. So how much will this condo dream cost? According to Channel News Asia, a median condo unit would cost $1.6 million. And if you add in all the other fees and renovation costs, this will go up to $1.7 million. While that sounds expensive, the reality is this $1.5 million would probably only get you a 2-bedroom condo, which is okay lah if you don't really need a lot of space to heisho. But if you are looking to start a family, you will definitely need a bigger condo, and that will easily cost you $2 million or more. But how much more money would you have to fork out as compared to someone living in a HDB? According to the latest data, a median 3-room resale HDB costs less than $500,000. And even if we add in a $100K miscellaneous fees and renovation costs, we are only looking at spending at most $600K. This represents a huge $1.1 million savings if you were to buy a HDB instead of a condo. Oh yeah, don't forget there's a whole bunch of HDB grants which can help you save up to $190,000. However, with that being said, I do understand the whole appeal of living in a condo. Some like it for their facilities, others like it for privacy, while some feel that it is a good asset class to grow their wealth as compared to HDB. That's because over the past 20 years, condos have appreciated a lot faster as compared to HDB, to the point that the longer you wait, the harder and harder it is for an average Singaporean to afford a condo. That's why as long as you can afford to buy a condo without stretching your finances, I would say, why not? Though, probably a much cheaper way of doing that is by going the route of BTO or resale HDB first, then upgrade to an executive condominium later on. That way, you will not only get the benefit from all the HDB housing grants, but also get your dream condo at a much lower price. According to Stat Homes, executive condos could be 20% to 38% cheaper as compared to a private condo. For example, this new 3-bedroom EC costs just $1.3 million, which is like 30% cheaper than a private condo. So if you're planning to get a condo, this is definitely one way you can save on your Singaporean dream. Great news! You can now invest your CPF and SRS funds into low-cost Amundi funds through Poems. Don't have a Poems account yet? Sign up using my link and enjoy up to $1,000 worth of welcome rewards. This includes $150 worth of free stocks when you fund a minimum of $10,000 within 14 days and keep it there for 30 days while completing 5 buy trades within 90 days. To invest into an Amundi fund, just open up the Poems Mobile Tree app, tap on the search icon, search for the Amundi fund, tap on UT, then tap on the Amundi fund that you are interested in. Finally, switch the fund source over to CPFOA or SRS to invest with 0% sales charge. Otherwise, if you wish to automatically buy when the market is up and automatically buy when the market is down, Poems also lets you automate your investments. Just switch over to the RSP tab, then set up monthly or quarterly regular investments, or with 0% sales charge. What's more, they will also be running a roadshow from 10 March to 23 March by swing by at Thomson Plaza. It is right in front of Burger King. In this roadshow, you get to unlock an exclusive 5% per annum guaranteed returns, as well as a chance to win up to $30 worth of fair price vouchers. For more info, do check out the link in the description below. Next, owning a car. According to dollars and cents, the total cost of owning a Toyota Altis, including all the interest, road tax, car insurance and so on, would come out to around $250,000 over a 10-year period. Assuming you own this car over and over again over 30 years and inflation never exists, you will be looking at spending $750,000 over the years. But how realistic is this goal? According to the latest stats, only 1/3 of households own a car. This means it is totally possible to just live on public transport and occasional taxi rides. In fact, according to the latest household expenditure survey, a typical household only spends around $951 on transport. And if you look at the breakdown, a huge portion is spent on private transport, while the rest is split across public transport and other kinds of transport. Assuming each household has 3 members, every member would only spend around $370 on transport each month. Over 30 years, again assuming inflation didn't exist, that is only like $114,000 in transport costs, as compared to the whopping $750,000 if you were to own your own car. Though, with that being said, I also understand that some people absolutely need to own a car, whether it's due to the nature of their work or because they need to quickly fetch their family around. For them, they will need to get a car. Moving on to the next Singaporean dream, kids. Dollars and Cents estimated that raising 2 kids until 18 would cost you a kidney, $400,000. And if they were to go for university education, it would cost you another $50,000. Now, unlike condos and cars, if you want the best for your children, obviously you won't be able to save much here. But personally, I always feel that the one place that you can save on is their university fees. And before you be like, what kind of parent are you? Why you don't want to support your kid? Don't get me wrong, yeah. If you can afford to, it's always nice to help your kid so that they can start their adult life a little easier. But if you can't, your kid already has a ton of resources to support them, such as scholarships, bursaries, tuition grants, work study schemes, and loans. So I would say, don't stress too much about paying for all your kids' expenses. In some cases, it's probably useful to even let them take on some financial responsibility for their own higher education too. But here's the good news. You don't have to just save for your kids' education, because you can always let your money work smarter for you. For example, one way to do that is by getting endowment plans like the TM Kid Start 2. While the returns aren't anything fantastic, the benefits of these plans is that they can help you consistently save while giving you guaranteed payouts when your kids need them the most. Not just that, there's also some insurance coverage if ever, touch wood, something happens. Next, a typical annual dream vacation costs $5,000 per year, or about $250,000 over 50 years. Based on personal experience, I would say this number is quite reasonable. In fact, the cost of a vacation is estimated to only take up around 2.8 to 3.6% of your annual income. Now, the reason I say this is reasonable is because of something called the memory dividend, where money is nothing but a tool for living your best life. So rather than trying to buy the most expensive thing I can afford, I would rather focus on maximizing the memories that I can create. And as you get older, you get to think back on your life and relive all the experiences that you have shared with your friends and loved ones. However, while expensive vacations are mostly unavoidable, if you do it right, there are actually many ways to save on your vacation expenses. For example, with airfare taking up around 25% of your entire travel budget, you can always try to save on airfare expenses by looking for the cheapest flights at sites via Google Flights or Skyscanner. Or you can also do what I'm currently doing, which is to use miles cards to earn miles so that you can get to fly for free. Not just that, you should always take advantage of credit card airline deals, which will let you enjoy up to 10% of your travel fares. Besides airfares, the second biggest travel expenses would be your accommodation. Same thing here. Some credit cards will give you huge discounts when you book your accommodation through certain websites. For example, UOB, OCBC, and HSBC have tie-ups with hotels and travel sites like Agoda and Booking.com, which can give you up to 35% off room rates, free nights, or even complimentary upgrades. Good, right? For more ideas on how to save on your travel expenses, you can check out this video here. Next up, country club memberships. Country clubs used to be popular in the past, as they were a good place for individuals to build business relationships, have a wide array of sports and entertainment facilities, and more importantly, they were a status symbol to show that you were successful. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Singaporeans nowadays find them unsexy, or even if they had them, they tend to be underused. Not just that, we don't really need country clubs nowadays, as many other alternatives have popped up. For example, for building business relationships, you are now able to look for events at sites such as Eventbrite or Meetup. And for sports and entertainment facilities, there are tons of affordable options such as Active SG gyms, swimming pools, public parks, and hiking trails such as the East Coast Park and McRitchie. Or even if you like golf, you can always go for ad hoc golf sessions, which would cost you around $130 to $330 per session. It is expensive, but definitely way cheaper than having to fork out $200,000 for a country club membership. In fact, an average Singaporean household only spends around $335 a month on recreation, sports, and culture activities. This includes stuff like package holidays, recreational services, and cultural services. This is definitely a much better way to socialize, get fit, and have fun, all while saving a ton of money. Moving on, retirement. While Dollars and Cents estimated that the cost of retirement is $1 million over 20 years, the good news is that, in reality, it costs way less than that to retire in Singapore. For example, according to the Minimum Income Standard study, a single elderly would only need $1,500 to have a basic standard of living. This includes all your essentials like food, clothing and footwear, transport, and even recreational activities. So it's not as though you are living like a beggar, yeah. If you add that over 20 years, ignoring inflation, it will only cost you $360,000 to retire. Now, of course, how much you actually need would also heavily depend on your retirement lifestyle. For example, if you are planning to have a basic retirement where you live in a HDB property, take a public transport, and only go for regional holidays 2 times a year, you will only need to spend $2,700 a month. Or if you live in a private property, own a car, have a full-time maid, and travel internationally 2 times a year, you will need $6,150 a month instead, which in that case, you will need a lot more than $1 million for retirement. Whichever the case, thankfully, there are a number of tools to make your retirement planning a lot easier, with the first one being CPF Life. That's because if you are able to hit the full retirement sum, which is $213,000 this year, CPF Life will pay you around $1,730 every month from 65 years old for your entire life. This already covers most of the basic essentials that you need. Then, all you need to do is come up with the remaining amounts. How? With the 4% rule, of course. The 4% rule is a research-backed, powerful strategy that states that if you just withdraw 4% from your retirement portfolio every year, there's a very low chance that your money will ever run out. For example, if after CPF Life, you only need to cover another $1,000 money spent based on the 4% rule, this means you will need to have a portfolio size of $300,000. To get there, all you need to do is consistently invest into some broad-based index funds that are low cost, super diversified, and can give some decent returns over the long term. No need to be an investing genius, just set it and forget it. Besides that, do also take advantage of all the tax reliefs that you can get, such as topping up $8,000 to your CPF SA or MA every year, as well as topping up to your SRS accounts every year and investing that money. You will not only get to save on some taxes, but also get to invest the money and grow it for your retirement. Win-win. Last but not least, we have dream weddings. The one day where everything seems to be perfect, and also the day that could wipe out your bank account. According to Dollars and Cents, a memorable wedding at Shangri-La will cost you anywhere between $40K to $60K at the low end. For some, it is an absolute must-have. For others, they prefer to just go for micro weddings instead, where everything is simpler and cheaper. But if you absolutely need to have a grand wedding, do make sure to do it the smart way, so that you will not only get to save on some costs, but also benefit from it at the same time. For example, do you really need a Saturday banquet at a super atas hotel? Or are you okay with switching to a weekday or lunchtime wedding, as doing so can save you and especially your guests quite a bit of money. A Saturday wedding dinner at Four Seasons Hotel would cost you, or rather your guests, $270. But if you are able to change it to Saturday lunch, that will cost you a little less at $230 instead. And honestly, the food tastes the same whether it is served at 12 PM or 7 PM. Your guests are just as happy as long as they have something to eat. Also, rather than buying a brand new dress or tuxedo, try renting them or getting them from online shops such as Shein, Zalora, or even Taobao, as they can be usually quite cheap. But here's the ultimate pro move. Since you are already spending a ton of money on your wedding, make sure to spend them on the right cards to turn them into free flights for your next overseas trip. With 4 miles per dollar cards and a 60k wedding, you will easily be earning 240k miles. That's more than enough for 2 business class return flights to Japan with Singapore Airlines. So is the Singaporean dream still alive? I guess it depends on how you see it. In the past, the Singapore dream was mainly used as a status symbol to show that you were successful. But perhaps it has become a lot less relevant now. Personally, I feel that the real Singaporean dream isn't about chasing SES or flexing, but rather living a life that you find meaningful. Imagine this. You are 65, happily retired while getting $3,000 a month in steady income. You are living in your modest HDB, your kids are healthy, and you have traveled the world, maybe even in business class, all without burning a hole in your wallet. Isn't that better than chasing after outdated ideas of success? To me, that's the real Singaporean dream. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hopefully you found it useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.